He says, Bradley, you often recommend testing whenever you try something different. Can you give some suggestions on the best ways to test the effectiveness of new links? Well, no, I mean, like, I don't test new links as far as you can do it. You can, like, for example, if you were to purchase an expired domain, rebuild the old content on it, it had great metrics, blah, blah, blah. You could poke somebody else's site with it, or a Web 2 of your, a Web 2 site or something like that if you want. In fact, Terry Kyle, I even did a short training. I think it's on his blog, so I think it's available for anybody. But where he talks about doing that, buying an expired domain that has good metrics, topically relevant to what it is that you're going to ultimately be linking to. Find somebody else in that industry for, or another similar type site or whatever that is back on like page 2 or 3 or something like that, page 3, and then point the link there with just a redirect, by the way. You don't even have to rebuild the old site. You can just do a redirect to that site, that page that's on like page 3 or whatever like that of Google search results, and just monitor it, see if it jumps. It was back on page 3, so it's not going to hurt. And then if it does jump and you get, let's say it jumps from page 3 to position 14, you know that link had a positive effect on it. And then at that point you can remove the redirect and redirect to your own site, or what I would suggest doing is at that point rebuild the domain and then just put a link from that domain over to your money site, so that you can poke other people's sites. They don't have to be your own. But if you already have some digital assets in that particular industry that are like Web 2s or whatever, you can always test them on those first. Personally, I don't do it. Like, I don't do all that because it's just too much time and I'm too impatient. So what I do is just purchase the domains, rebuild the sites, and then put a link to my site and monitor the site that I link to, which is my money site, and see what kind of effect or changes it had. Sometimes it doesn't have any effect. I got to be honest, but sometimes I get significant jumps just from one link. So, but you can definitely poke other people's properties. They don't have to be your own, or you could set up, like I said, some Web 2s or something like that if you don't want to. But again, if you just build it and point it to your money site, like if you're already on, if you're already ranking really well and you're worried about it potentially causing harm, then yeah, go ahead and test on other sites. But if you're not ranking yet, anyways, what harm is it going to do to point it directly at your money site and then monitor the results? And if it had, if it didn't help at all, or it actually caused it to, drop a couple spots, which it may, because that's the typical Google dance, guys. Remember, that's what I was talking about earlier when he was, Tim or James was asking about link velocity, is you don't want to go too fast. So if you point a link at your site, and it could drop 2 or 3 spots right after pointing a link to it, but give it some time, give it a couple weeks, because it's just doing the normal Google dance at that point. So that one link might have made it drop 2 or 3 spots, but in 2 weeks' time it could be positive 5 spots. So you got to give it a little bit of time, and that's why, like, personally, I don't test on other people. Like, I don't do that testing the new links just because it takes too much time for me, and I'm too impatient.